I'm Randy Wilburn, Director of Education at Zweig Group. Welcome to our online Z-Learning course, 10 Things That Will Actually Make You a Better Seller. This 1-hour continuing education program will help you to develop and strengthen your sales skills. We've come up with a range of simple ideas that, if done together, can be the difference in you closing a big sale for your firm or losing out to the competition. Competition that may already be familiar with a lot of the things that we will teach you today. We are with Zweig Group Chairman and industry expert Mark Zweig. Mark is the consummate salesman and business developer. He has a tremendous track record of business development and sales experience with a wide variety of design firms for 35 plus years. Hey Mark, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, how's it going, Randy?
It's going good. It's going good. So let's walk step by step through some simple ways that our audience of engineers and architects can develop and fine-tune their sales skills. And for those new to the business or this subject matter, we're going to discuss the differences between sales and marketing, because I know you feel very strongly about these subjects.
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool.
It's good
Well,
stuff.
Mark,
Everybody can do better.
yeah, absolutely. So Mark, let's start with defining sales so that we're all on the same page.
Well, I think a lot of times people confuse selling and marketing, or sales and business development versus marketing. And they say, how much time are you spending marketing, Randy? What they really mean is, how much time are you spending selling?
Right.
You know, selling is generally thought of as the oral presentation of features and benefits such that you gained a signed agreement to do some work.
Right.
You know, that's the whole point, is to close the job. That's making the sale. Marketing is much broader than that. Of course, it involves everything, the 4 Ps, the marketing mix, price, the product or service itself that you sell, where you sell it from, the physical distribution aspects of it, and the promotion. And of course, the promotion's much broader than just selling. That includes advertising and, you know, social media and e-marketing and all kinds of other stuff. So selling really is just a subset of marketing, but it's one that individuals can do working in AE firms. They aren't all in control of the marketing, but they can all be involved in selling.
In selling, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's good, and I know, and we could go on with this, and because you know, a lot of times people use sales, marketing, and business development interchangeably.
Yeah, they do.
And from your point of view, that's inaccurate.
It is, and you know, sales and business development, I have no problem using those interchangeably. Some people want to say business development is maybe a little more comprehensive than just selling, but I basically throw them both into the same pot.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, we will certainly share the actual definitions as we have found them online for both sales and marketing for our audience, just so you can get an idea. And you can take a look at the screen now and just see what the definition of sales is, as well as what the definition of marketing is. And you can keep track of that with your notes as you listen along with Mark and I today. So let's see where this goes. Mark, now that we've gotten these definitions out of the way, let's start at the top. You gave me a list of 10 things that will make you a better seller. There seems to be a theme here. You start off with an individual focus, you know, of the person that's trying to strengthen their sales skills, and you build from there. So let's start with the individual. Mark, you mentioned that the number one thing that we need to do to become a better seller is to stop thinking you need to be someone else. You need to be you. Can you expand on this idea a bit?
Yeah, I think a lot of people in this business, if you talk with engineers or architects, they think they've got to be the glib, fast talker, you know, joke teller, you know, whatever their stereotypical image of a salesperson is in order to be effective.
Yeah.
And it's the exact opposite. You know, you need to be yourself so you can be credible. You need to be believable. That's the main thing. And you're not going to be believable if you're trying to pretend you're somebody else.
Yeah.
So you got to be yourself. And, you know, I find it interesting that some of the people that I've observed over the years who are the most effective sellers, they defy every single stereotype there is.
Yeah.
You know, they talk very slow. They talk so softly that you have to strain to hear them.
Yeah.
They have, in some cases, annoying repetitive speech mannerisms.
Ticks and habits.
I had one guy in particular who was one of the most effective sellers of AE services I've ever met in my life, said about every 10 words. If he was your teenage kid, you'd want to slap him for it.
Right.
But nevertheless, he was real and he was good at what he did. He was very, very successful because he was himself.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to not try to pretend to be somebody you're not.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you find, and I'm just curious here, just to go a little deeper on this idea, how did you find your sales voice? And I know you started out early. I mean, you started out like at the age of 12 or 13 at a bike shop.
Actually, I started before that. I was selling bikes on the corner of my mom and dad's house at 8 or 9. That's really when I started selling. And it's funny because if you ask my dad, he's dead now, but if you asked him, why was I a good seller? And he always, of course, he was my greatest cheerleader.
Right.
I miss the guy tremendously, but he always said, what's good about you is you tell people the truth.
Yeah.
And early on, I would just point out everything wrong with whatever I was selling. That was the way I sold. And then there were no surprises.
Right.
So, that kind of goes along with being yourself, I think. I discovered early that if I just, told everybody everything that was wrong, then I built their trust. They built trust in me.
Right.
And it was, then they bought from me, and so I think that's a big part of it. I think the other thing is, really, when you start talking about finding your voice, good salespeople are helpful.
Yeah.
It's all about providing help. You're not getting anybody to do anything they don't want to do. You're just helping them.
Yeah.
And so, working at the bike shop, we used to have little contests. Like the boss would see, you'd see some mother come into the parking lot, get out of her car with a flat tire on a bicycle wheel and with 5 kids in tow. And he'd say to me, Mark Zweig, if you can sell that lady a new bike, I'll buy you dinner at Red Lobster.
And
I was on,
That was it. So.
And so I'd take that wheel and I'd throw it in the truing stand, and it was all out of whack like that. And of course, It needed a tire and a tube, and then the wheel was bad, and the total cost of that would have been $35. So I can sell you a brand new bike for $59.95. And of course, the kid's like, "Yeah, Mom, I want that."
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't need anything. It's got all new tire. You'll be in here next week with the front wheel that's bent.
Yeah.
And if you keep your old bike, but anyway, just telling people the truth, being yourself, and being helpful, I think, and it just works in the AE business too. I mean, again, I think back to the guy I told you who said, every 10 words. That guy was very helpful.
Yeah.
He gave a lot of ideas to his clients right away. He didn't hold back on anything. He used to immediately start throwing ideas out about what they could do, and they loved that.
Yeah, it's like you can't treat it as if the services that you offer from your firm are state secrets that nobody should have until you actually pay for them to be revealed.
Exactly, and I think a lot of people think like that. It's like, well, if we give them all our ideas, well, then they don't need to hire us. Okay,
Right.
We all know there's far more to this business than ideas.
Absolutely.
Ideas are a good start, but you got to actually get it done.
Yeah.
And that's what separates the truly great firms from those that aren't, is the ones that can get things done for their clients.
Well, I think, and to that point, I was telling somebody the other day is that, it's all about, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, but especially from a sales perspective and the way that you offer up the services that your firm has, the idea is ultimately, are you able to execute on what you promise?
Exactly. If you don't overpromise and you can deliver or over-deliver, then of course you're going to be able to sell them again.
Right.